I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a Patreon request, this time from Thompson. Thank you so much for that. For anyone who wants to send in any paid requests, pretty much whatever, reviews, topics, reactions, even random videos like this, pretty much any type of video, you can send a request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Again, whether PayPal or Patreon, either way is fine. That's up to you, of course. If not, no worries. But he asked me to do something interesting, is to look up Bloodsport, which is a classic. I mean, Bloodsport to me is my favorite film dealing with a martial arts tournament. Although I do really love Enter the Dragon and the first Mortal Kombat movie, but Bloodsport, I'm just a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. I'm a sucker for the movie. I love the fight scenes, I love the music. It was Bolo Yeung as the bad guy, had presence, fast-paced, multiple well-choreographed fight sequences. Van Damme, really, you just see that there was some kind of presence to him that made him a star. And the way he did the fights, and the way he movie fights, and that's the difference. No, you would not do some of these things in a real fight, but that's why it's a movie. Make it look good for the cameras. But anyway, this isn't for a review of Bloodsport. He wanted me to look at the cast and crew and see sort of a before and after, like what they've done after this. And I thought, okay, that'd be interesting to do. And so I don't know how many he wanted me to do, but I'll do a bit at least. So Bloodsport's directed by Newt Arnold, and I don't know what happened to this guy. Well, that's not true. I'll find out. But what I meant by that is that this is the last film he directed in 1988. Now, he did films I've never seen: Hands of a Stranger, Bloodthirst. Yeah, thanks are given to Girl Bloodsport. Gee, I wonder what that is. Additional crew for stuff I've never even heard of. Back from the 50s. Producer, 1960, All the Young Men, Hands of a Stranger, Bloodthirst, Saving Grace, 1986. Writer, Matinee Theater, The Rest Is Gone, 2 TV shows, Hands of a Stranger. So Hands of a Stranger, he wrote, produced, and directed. And then, mainly, he was a second unit director and assistant director. That's really where his career, I guess, went. Because he did Big Jake. I think that's a John Wayne film, isn't it? Big Jake? I want to double check. I might be thinking of someone, but I thought that's a John Wayne film. Yeah. Yeah, it's John Wayne. There you go. They wanted gold, they gave them lead instead. Big Jake. Yeah, that's when John Wayne still worked into the 70s. He was assistant director on that film. The original The Getaway. Assistant director in Godfather Part 2. That's probably one of the biggest films he was part of. Assistant director on... So that's funny. The assistant director of Cheech and Chong's next movie became the director of Bloodsport. That's pretty funny. First assistant director, Blade Runner. First assistant director, War Games. DC Cab. The Goonies. A second unit director on Red Scorpion. First assistant director on Lockup with Stallone, a favorite of mine, The Abyss. And that's funny. Additional second unit director on Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. So there is... I don't have the case here. There is a fucking link to Bloodsport and Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. That's pretty badass. That's a drink to that. So, Bloodsport and Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. There's a connection. The director of Bloodsport was the additional second unit director, whatever the hell that means. Well, I mean, second unit, yeah. We're filming the scene with the actors. Can you film some stuff, some additional shots, like up-close shots, or a hand grab and something, like something that the actual director doesn't need to be there 100% for. Pick-up shots, things of that nature. So, maybe he was just more comfortable doing that. Assistant director Jade. The last film he's connected with is Rules of Engagement. That's the Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Lee Jones film. First assistant director came out in the year 2000. Simple Plan. Jade, that's the film that stars David Caruso from NYPD Blue, CSI Miami, and it's directed by the director of The Exorcist, William Friedkin. I don't know why I blanked out on his name. William Friedkin directed Jade. Last Action Hero, first assistant director. So, a lot of movies he's connected to that I know and enjoy. I mean, The Last Action Hero, Ninja Turtles 2, The Abyss, Lockup, Red Scorpion, Alien Nation. That's pretty damn cool. I mean, the second unit director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I guess makes sense because that was with Canon Films. Same with Alan Corman, Lost City of Gold. And so with Bloodsport, I guess they're like, hey, we don't know about this new guy, Jean-Claude Van Damme, whoever the hell he is. Why, you want to direct? Sure, direct. Maybe he didn't enjoy it. Maybe he just, I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't his passion. He's just more... Because I guess being the main director, you'd have to have a lot more pressure put onto you. Maybe not as much if you're a first assistant director. You're still doing what you like, but just the pressure's maybe eased off a little bit. That's funny. On the news here from 2011, Salt director Philip Noyce helming Bloodsport remake. See, that's the tough thing about talking about the movie news. So much of it never happens. Like, remember that? 10 years ago now, pretty much, since we're 2021, which is weird to say. 10 years ago, pretty much, you know, director Philip Noyce, Bloodsport remake. Then that disappeared, thankfully. So Newt Arnold, yeah, Secret of the Ooze and Bloodsport have a connection. That's cool. So Newt Arnold, that was the director. The writing credits, we have 3 people. Well, story by Sheldon Lettich, but the writing credits, Sheldon Lettich, Christopher Cosby, and Mel Friedman. So if we go, Christopher Cosby, only film they've done. So I wonder what the deal is with that. Was he just, he didn't want to write again? He just didn't get a job for it? But let's be honest, I mean, I love Bloodsport. Many of you love Bloodsport. The general, critics, they don't respect the film like Bloodsport. Bloodsport, they just looked at the name, they don't, whatever. Which is bullshit, but that's how it goes. Now, Mel Friedman, guess he's done... Okay, he helped write the film. He also wrote Deadlocked, Escape from Zone 14. I don't know what that movie is. That's not the movie I'm thinking of, is it? It'd be nice if you highlight it and they highlight the picture. And that's not the one I'm thinking of, is it? That's not the... Okay, no. I was thinking of the Rutger Hauer movie. Wedlock. Okay, so Deadlock 2. The sequel to Deadlock with Rutger Hauer. S.I. Morales. Nia Peoples. They haven't even heard of this fucking sequel. Well, sequel. I mean, was it one of those where they made a movie, we can't sell it, just sell it as a sequel? Nia Peoples from Deep Star 6? S.I. Morales, huh? He was in... Was it La Bamba he was in? I cannot remember. But... he edited some TV, including Chicago Hope. But mostly, he's an assistant editor. He was assistant editor on Poltergeist, Gymkhana, interesting. And then go into TV, Roswell, Chicago Hope, The Guardian. What the hell is The Guardian? 32 episodes. Oh, he was the first assistant editor on Dead Silence and Death Sentence, 2 James Wan films. Wonder if James Wan knew the connection. Hey, you're assistant editor. He helped write Bloodsport. Breaking Bad. Definitely a successful show for him to work on, at least for a little bit. 25 episodes. That was 2012. Don't know what he's been doing since. Did he retire? I mean, did he find another job? I don't know. Now, Sheldon Lettich, who came up with the came up with the story and helped write. For some reason, I have a feeling Christopher Cosby and Mel Freeman wrote the first draft and Sheldon Lettich rewrote it. Just him and Van Damme got along. And of course, Sheldon Lettich would become good friends with Van Damme. Because you see after this... Let's see, what's the writer... He helped with the story Thou Shalt Not Kill Except, yes, the film that Sam Raimi plays a Charles Manson type of villain. Yes, the director Sam Raimi was an actor in that film playing the villain, a Charles Manson type of villain. And it was supposed to star Bruce Campbell, but it couldn't because something to do with unions or of that nature. And that's a fun, pretty much Vietnam soldiers come back after the war. They're trying to settle down, and these soldiers fight this Charlie Manson type of gang. It's a fun movie if you don't take it seriously and you enjoy the carnage that happens, especially in the finale. Like, it's fun for what it is. But yeah, he's helped the screenplay of Bloodsport. And after this, at the same time, Rambo 3. He helped write Rambo 3, which is a win on my book. Love Rambo 3. And the success of, well, Rambo 3 was considered a disappointment at the box office, but, Bloodsport, it led him to stuff because he directed and wrote Lionheart, classic. Double Impact, classic. Only Strong with Martha Costas, good movie. Legionnaire, not for me. And that was from 93 to 98. Oh, that's writing. He directed, after Only the Strong, Perfect Target. And, okay, he didn't direct Legionnaire, he wrote it. Perfect Target I haven't seen. The Last Patrol in 2000. Sheldon Lettich directed that. That's one of Dolph Lundgren's worst movies. That's a very fucking boring film. Which is about... it's like a post-apocalyptic movie with Dolph Lundgren as a soldier at this outpost. And yet they made such a boring, cheap-looking film. Just, I did one of Dolph's worst. But then... 2001, you have The Order, which to me is one of Van Damme's more underrated films and one of his best direct-to-video flicks because it's action and Van Damme having fun, smiling. Yeah, Charlton Heston. He has a little bit role in it. You have your fight scenes. I mean, it's a pretty entertaining movie. You know, it's if you look at his direct-to-video films, that's one of the few that does feel like a throwback to his older, more fun type of motion pictures. The hardcore, that was very disappointing. I was not a fan of the hardcore at all. Shank, Fight Pride, I have no idea what these are. 2 films he's directing, I guess. Well, it says here. Well, I open this up. Hero Max, which I think deals... Max and Max 2, I think they deal with a dog. More family films. And I haven't seen them. As for what he's directing... nothing there. Shank. Fight Pride. Outcast steelworker searching for a sense of belonging befriends a bullied homeless boy, but turns brutal brawler after the daughter of a real estate tycoon recruits him to be her fighter in an underground fight league. It sounds pretty generic, to be honest, and don't recognize the names, so I don't know. I don't really have... Yeah. But I mean, he's directed a couple films I do enjoy. Double Impact, Lionheart, Only the Strong, The Order, and, you know, good friends with Van Damme. He definitely helped Van Damme quite a bit. Now, I know the producer is Marc Dessau, and I wanted to mention his name because he would direct Kickboxer and The Perfect Weapon. Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Wonderful film. Martial arts film where he's going after Tombo. I want Tombo. Which is played by Michelle Queasy, who's a friend of Van Damme, who is in Bloodsport as one of the fighters that Van Damme goes up against. I love the training montages, all the different ways Van Damme is trained, like when he has to kick higher and higher on these pads, training underwater. The musical score feels epic. The fight scene at the end, especially when the guy get the rags on and the ice, and when the music kicks up and beautiful 360 kicks, and that's a way to do it in a fight scene where you get the right angles, the right use of slow-mo, the perfect music for that type of scene. And Van Damme, I love when Van Damme would bring the emotion. Yeah. No one does that anymore. He doesn't do that anymore because people laughed at it and they thought it was silly and goofy. I never did. I thought it was badass because it brings emotion and intensity. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. I like that. I miss that. But because we live in the cynical world, it's funny. You ruin it for everybody. So, and The Perfect Weapon, Jeff Speakman's first film. Great usage of his art, which is tempo. Yeah, it's a basic story, but Jeff Speakman is what makes that film work. And his tempo martial arts, wonderful to see on screen. Big fan of The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman. So he directed those two, and he never directed again. I don't know why. As for producer, I forgot he produced Death Warrant. Another Van Damme film I enjoy. But around The Perfect Weapon, well, maybe one of the things that happened, to be fair, is Marc Dessau. They're like, hey, you know what? You worked with Jean-Claude Van Damme, producing these movies, directing Kickboxer. There's this other guy, and he's going to be the new guy. Go watch his tempo. And he saw his tempo and thought, wow, Jeff Speakman, this tempo thing? I think that's going to be the new the new hit for him. So made a deal with Paramount. Perfect Weapon comes out, but then Mark DeSalle, from what I understand, Mark DeSalle was a pain in the ass. One thing led to another, and Paramount's like, we don't want to deal with this bullshit. And Jeff Speedman's like, hey, I just want to make some movies. I want to make some movies. And Mark DeSalle's like, no, we got to do this, we got to do that, do the runaround. Ultimately, again, just fucking around, doing bullshit. And, well, how do I put it? You went from Paramount to the last days of canon, literally the last days of canon, and you got Street Night, where a bunch of the budget disappeared. I don't know if it was a few days into it or something, but a bunch of money disappears. So then, that's why Street Night, which I do like, but it doesn't have a lot of action. It does not have a lot of action because they didn't have the money to shoot as much. And they didn't have a company like PM Entertainment. Like PM Entertainment would have fucking... I think that's what should have happened. Street Night should have been with PM Entertainment. You put that in the hands of PM Entertainment, you would have had Jeff Speedman probably doing tempo on a fucking car while it was flipping over, and two other cars are exploding, and there's a helicopter, and then he gets on a helicopter and does tempo on the helicopter and then jumps off. That's a PM Entertainment film. Don't believe me? You watch films like Riot, and even when Jeff did Land of the Free. I mean, it's PM Entertainment. PM Entertainment in the 90s is kind of what canon films were in the 80s. In a way. But yeah, he produced Street Night, and I think that got a lot of ill will from other studios. Like, this guy's a hard ass. Because then after that, he produced 4 Minute Mile, the remake of Mother's Day. Is that what this is? Is that the remake of Mother's Day with Rebecca De Mornay? No, it's not. Okay, it's that Mother's Day. That's still a weird movie for Mark DeSalle to produce. A Gary Marshall comedy with Jennifer Aniston and Julia Roberts. Really? Timothy Olyphant-tastic? I'll try to see if it showed. Is he the only producer on it? I don't know. Whatever. That's strange. Okay. It is what it is. So, let's go into... Well, before I go into the cast, also on the credits, I know the music, the score, which is very well done. Go back to that, please. Is Paul Hertzog. And what else has he done composing-wise? Because his score... I guess he helped on the lyrics to Fight to Survive. Kumete, or Kumete. Oh, he did Kickboxer as well. Again, great. A great double team, so to speak. A great two-fister. Bloodsport, Kickboxer, both wonderful musical scores. Street Justice, How Would Zap, My Chauffeur. Don't think I've seen any of them. Dangerous Love, don't know what that is. So the only score after Bloodsport was Dangerous Love, Kickboxer, and Breathing Fire. Breathing Fire, that's the film with... I want to say, yeah, Bolo Yeung is in it. I believe one of the heroes is Short Round in Temple of Doom. I believe that's the case. Dangerous Love. I've never heard of that movie. Huh. But Breathing Fire, I've heard of the film. I don't think I've seen it. But yeah, Kickboxer and Bloodsport, that's pretty damn good. I don't know why he didn't get more work in the 90s. I mean, based on these two films, if I made an action film in the 90s, that's a guy I would have at least thought of. Listen to the scores in Bloodsport Tippage. They fit so well with those movies. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now the cast, I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme. What more can I say about Van Damme? I mean, I'm a big fan. One of my favorite action stars. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, this is one of my favorite, probably my favorite film of all time, the uncut version of this. That's not, the Laserdisc isn't uncut, but I'm just saying, I have an uncut version, and that's my favorite uncut Hard Target. My favorite movie. But, I mean, I love Time Cop, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Double Impact, Universal Soldier. To me, so many classics. And even his direct-to-video work, there's a lot of good direct-to-video stuff he's done. I mean, not lately. Like, fuck Blackwater. We Die Young, fuck that movie. Kill 'Em All. Shitty fight with the star of Bloodsport 2, Daniel Bernhardt, where Daniel Bernhardt doesn't land any hits on Van Damme, and yet by the editing, Van Damme has bruises on his face out of the blue. I'm like, wait a minute. Which I'm guessing there's more to the fight and some shit was cut out. Because you watch that film, Kill 'Em All, you watch the end fight, Van Damme's face is perfectly fine. It's just Van Damme beating up Daniel Bernhardt. This is what you did for me, the Bloodsport sequels. And then, by the end of the fight, Van Damme's face, like, where the fuck did this, like, you tell me where they come from. That was a lame film. Disappointing movie. Although I did like the Jean-Claude Van Johnson show. I wish they got another season. I mean, movie-wise, I would say the last one I liked was maybe Enemies Closer? Because Pound of Flesh was disappointing. Swelter, he's barely in, then he gets killed. Pound of Flesh is like a lame version. I mean, Kill 'Em All, he's in the hospital. That could be potential, like, Die Hard situation, but no. Fucking Project Shadow Chaser did a better job with that than Kill 'Em All. Blackwater, it's in a submarine, so you don't have really much to play with background-wise. Dolph's in the film, but Dolph Lundgren doesn't... He appears at the very beginning, then he doesn't come back till, like, halfway through the film and has, like, this much to do in it. We Die Young, a bunch of kids I don't give a shit about, and Van Damme's, like, helping them along, and... The Bouncer, that was very disappointing. Just I'm like, okay, this could be very good dramatic role. I did not think it was. It's well shot, cinematography wise, but just a very boring film, and to me it didn't even give us much for Van Damme to work with acting wise compared to In Hell or JCVD or even Wake of Death. But I do like, before that, Six Bullets I enjoyed. And The Shepherd Border Patrol, JCVD, Until Death, Wake of Death, In Hell, The Order, Replicant. I love Universal Soldier The Return. Knockoff and Double Team are interesting, at least. They're interesting to watch. Maximum Risk I enjoy. Rest in peace, Reno Lamb, the director. I never understood the hate for Maximum Risk. The Quest, that's another story. But, I mean, I'm a big Van Damme fan, so what more can I say? What would JCVD do? Now, Jackson, his partner here, is Donald Gibb. Very fun in the movie. Has a great rapport of Van Damme. Brings this good sense of levity to the proceedings. Now, I remember him, he was in Revenge of the Nerds, which I'm probably early in his career. And some uncredited work. I guess he was a henchman in Any Which Way You Can, a bouncer in Stripes with Bill Murray, a guard in Conan the Barbarian, again uncredited. He was in an episode of the A-Team, interesting. Meatballs Part 2, I still haven't... Really the only Meatballs film... Well, I saw Part 3, like, 20 years ago. I don't remember anything other than... Meatballs Part 2 has an alien in it. And just, I didn't see that movie, but I've seen clips of it. Meatballs 3, again, I saw like 20 years ago. I think that has something to do with an angel or a porn actress. Angel... I don't know, why is it with that Meatball sequels, they just decided to go into the supernatural, like, the sci-fi, like, it's not like Meatballs 1 had Bill Murray talking to a fucking creature, or a fucking ghost. It was Meatballs, not Ghostbusters, but whatever. For some reason, the second one has an alien, for some reason, the third one's a fucking, whatever. Transylvania 65000, I actually enjoy that film. And yeah, he plays the wolf man, so you don't see his face, but he under all that hair. Revenge of the Nerds 2. I forgot he was one of the characters in Amazon Women on the Moon. Probably the role he's most well known is either Ogre, Revenge of the Nerds, probably more so this. In Bloodsport? Oh, I don't know. A lot of people remember him from Revenge of the Nerds, to be fair. So I don't know which is the more popular role for him. It's one or the other. My favorite role is Jackson in Bloodsport. But after that, I mean, he did a lot of TV work. My Two Dads, with Great Evigan and Paul Reiser. Night Court. Doctor. Oh yeah, that's the Matt Frewer, the guy who was in what's that? Max Headroom. He starred in that TV show Doctor. First and 10, which is a football show, I believe on HBO. MacGyver, he was in an episode of MacGyver, Quantum Leap. I know he's on an episode of the... Yeah, I remember he was on an episode of the X-Files. Because Mulder and Scully talked to him in a bar. And he tells about how there's some heat, and he like shows a bit of his face. Because he's a character that believes in flying saucers. He's in like one scene. Because I remember I'm watching the X-Files, I go, that's fucking Jackson from Bloodsport. Oh, he's in 2 episodes of Harry and the Hendersons TV show? Interesting. Murphy Brown, Seinfeld. Revenge of the Nerds 4. I forgot there were 4 Revenge of the Nerds movies. Savant. Okay, he was in Savant. That's with Oliver Gruner and Mark Senior. Man, it's been a while since I've seen Savant. I don't remember him in it. Huh. Bloodsport, he's in Bloodsport 2. American Tigers, I haven't seen. That's right, he was in U.S. Marshals. He's the guy that Tommy Lee Jones fights at the beginning of the film and arrests him. And Donald Gibb is throwing everybody around. Joel Pantoliano, Tommy Lee Jones. How you want it, fried or extra crispy? Because Tommy Lee Jones is wearing that mascot suit to sell chicken as undercover. Kind of a weird way to start U.S. Marshals, to be honest. It's like, is this a parody of The Fugitive? Like, why did they have Tommy Lee Jones dressed up as this fucking chicken mascot? Yeah, that's a very weird choice, but I still like U.S. Marshals. But that's right, Donald Gibb was at the beginning of that. Early Edition. I remember that show, Early Edition. That's the show where a guy would get the newspaper and it would tell what would happen tomorrow. I think it was, yeah, tomorrow. But it would tell, like, the future, what was going to happen, and then he would try to stop the bad thing from happening. And this magical newspaper would appear at his door every day. He was a convict in Hancock. A bunch of films I've never heard of. Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, Additional Voices, 2011. And the video game Rage, a voice in that, and a voice in Mafia 2 as Angry Prisoner. That's the sad thing with Donald Gibb. I mean, to me, he plays a substantial role in Bloodsport, but he got like nothing for roles. I mean, Convict in Hancock, or a bunch of films you never fucking heard of. Guest spots in TV shows where he's either convict or a biker or something of that nature. Just sadly, because of his face and his body, he was pigeonholed into those roles. But I thought he did a good job. He should have been utilized a lot more. So now we got Leah Ayres. Leah Ayres, she was the reporter, and you have maybe a little bit of romance in Bloodsport, but mainly she's the reporter looking in on what's going on. Before that, she was bit roles. That's why she was in The Burning. She was one of the stars of The Burning. That's right. Because I saw them and went, that's the girl from Bloodsport. The TV show 9 to 5, based on the movie, that show didn't last long. St. Elsewhere, they had a bunch of TV work. Episode 21 Jump Street. Oh, First and 10, with, well, I guess she did one season of it. But then she was in Bloodsport. After that, episode of Freddy's Nightmares. Oh, wow. She was Marcia Brady on The Bradys. Yeah, I'm sure no one remembers what the fuck that show is. Good on ya. See episodes of Walker Texas Ranger. Not really a lot of movie roles after Bloodsport. That's crazy. Like, after Bloodsport, just TV. The Bradys, which did not last long. Who's the Boss? She was in a movie, the movie The Player. Forgot she was in that. The last scene was an episode of Sliders in 1998. I mean, that's well over 20 years ago. So I guess it's like, hey, I'm not getting much for roles. I'm getting maybe one episode here. Like, from 98 to 92, 6-year span, it's, yeah, role in a movie, 2 episodes of Baby Talk, episode of Married with Children, episode of Raven, Walker Texas Ranger, 3 episodes, and episode of Slide. I mean, again, like, other than a few people like Van Damme, not many people really went into stardom, other than, of course, Forrest Whitaker. Granted, he didn't go into stardom because of Bloodsport, but it's still interesting when you go back. It's like, wow, Forrest Whitaker was in a Van Damme film. And we're 88. Right there. Of course, Forrest Whitaker is one of the 2 guys brought in to try to take Van Damme back to the United States. And Van Damme has to run away from them. Now, before this, yeah, he was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High as one of the football players. Vision Quest. Then TV work, North and South. Different Strokes. Platoon was the big movie, though. Platoon. And then, that's right, he was in Out, because he was part of the other team who were arguing with Emilio Estevez and Richard Dreyfuss. So yeah, Platoon, Stakeout, Good Morning Vietnam, this movie. Downtown I enjoyed with him and Anthony Edwards. That's a good one from 1990. The Crying Game, that was definitely a big phenomenon when it came out. Bystanders. Bystanders is my favorite version, the 90s one. He's someone that works at the military base. Blown Away, that's the Jeff Bridges one. Let's see. Species, that's a good creature feature. Phenomenon, that's a good one with John Travolta. A lot of people like Ghost Dog, Way of Samurai. I did not. Battlefield Earth. But then, yeah, I mean, the same year you got Panic Room and Phone Booth. That's a pretty good year to have those two films under your belt. Two very solid pictures. And Last King of Scotland, he got a lot of credit and a lot of awards for that. The Shield, I forgot, yeah, he was on The Shield. Vantage Point I liked. Street Teams. Let's see. Repo Man, yeah, I didn't care for that, especially the ending. This worked a lot with Criminal Minds. Well, no, 13 episodes and a bunch of, like, shorts. Yeah, a lot of these films, I can't really say... Oh, that's right, he was in The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's right. I forgot about that. Lee Daniels, The Butler. Taken 3. Well, he wasn't the problem with Taken 3. Yeah, Rogue One, the Star Wars story. I forgot he was in Black Panther. That's right. Forgot he was in Black Panther. City of Lies. Is that the film I'm thinking of? With the Tupac? Johnny Depp is in it? Yeah, did this film ever come out? Is Biddy, Who Shot Biddy. Yeah, Johnny Depp, Forrest Whitaker. Did this film ever come the fuck out? I remember this film was being like, hey, we're coming out. And then this film dis-fucking-peared. Like, did this film actually come out? Because Johnny Depp, yeah, they're looking into the murders of... September 2018. It was announced a month before release that the film had been shelved for the time being. But why? Why is that the case? In August 2018, the film was pulled from the schedule reportedly due to an ongoing lawsuit between Johnny Depp and the film's location manager. Johnny Depp's legal trouble was used as a scapegoat, and the film in fact may be being suppressed by the LA Police Department, who was implicated in the film, or other various players who did not want the film released. On August 29th, another lawsuit was filed by Bank Leumi for owed millions of unpaid guarantees caused by pulling the film from release. So, did the film get released? Did the film get released? I mean, is the film even out? Okay, let me check something here. Sorry, I gotta go on a tangent. City of Lies. Amazon. Like, I'll just type like Amazon. Like, can I buy the film on Amazon? City of Lies. Did this film even come out? City of Lies Blu-ray import, no English version. So this film never even come out? Huh. Doesn't appear on fucking Amazon. City of Lies. Well, City of Lies, let's say Johnny Depp. City of Lies, Blu-ray import, no English version. So it's an import from overseas, no English version. City of Lies Wikipedia. City of Lies. Sorry, I gotta go do an investigation. It'll bother me if I don't. It'll just bother the fuck out of me if I don't. What the fuck? I didn't think well, no new day has been announced, but it was screened out of competition December 2018 and received a limited release in Italy in 2019. So this film has never been released in the US. December, yeah, in a fucking festival. The film was released on Blu-ray in Italy in June 19, 2019, in Italy. That's fucking crazy. A film with Johnny Depp and fucking Forrest Whitaker. That's fucking crazy, man. I would see that film. Fuck. That sucks. That fucking sucks. So anyway, back to it. Sorry about that. Let me, go a few more. Roy Chiao, who was the teacher, passed away in 1999, sadly. He was the guy who trained Van Damme's character in this movie. His Van Damme sensei. Now, he was working since the 50s and 60s. But you probably will know him more. Well, before I go into that, let's see, just so I... He was in Golden Needles. That's the... What's his name? The star of Walking Tall, Joe Don Baker. Enter the Fat Dragon. That's with Sammo Hung. Pretty fun movie. Dame of Death. That's right, he was in Dame of Death with Bruce Lee. Dame of Death 2. Yeah, I guess technically he was in Dame of Death 2. Just footage for... Dame of Death 2 I think is better than Dame of Death 1, honestly. But I was going to say, people don't remember him the most as Lao She in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Yes, Mr. Jones? He's the man who, at the very beginning of Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones is facing off again in the nightclub. And he did a good job for the small part he played in Temple of Doom. He was also one of the villains in The Protector with Jackie Chan. Actually, no, maybe he wasn't the villain. It's been a while since I've seen Jackie Chan as The Protector. Maybe he wasn't the villain. I know he's in the movie, though. I do remember him being in it. After Bloodsport, I don't recognize these other movies, honestly. After Bloodsport. Shadow of China, Female Reporter, Cage Man, Treasure Hunt, Summer Snow, Mr. X. Sally, nothing I can even tell you anything about. And he passed away in 99. That's very sad. But yeah. Mr. Jones. Here he is. Lao She. Yes, Mr. Jones. And since it's going on a bit, let's finish with Bolo Yeung. Why not finish with Bolo? It's Bolo. Great villain, intimidating, has that look, has that big tough body, and just that presence that he's going to whip the shit out of you. Just big fan of Bolo Yeung. And he directed Bolo. That was Bolo and Writing Kung Fu. Bolo, he directed a film about himself? Two convicts get freed from prison, become lawmen in a corrupt village. Directed by Bolo Yeung, starring Bolo Yeung. Never even knew this existed until now. Bolo. Huh. Is that how he looks in the film with the... Learning all sorts of new shit today. Of course, Bolo would also work with Van Damme in Double Impact. He was in a lot of the Kung Fu classics. Five Fingers of Death. You go through Enter the Dragon. And then he would start being in the Bruce Lee knockoff films. Bruce's Fingers, Solo Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, The Invisible... I wish there was a set somehow that had all of the Bruce Lee imitation movies. Like if somehow there was some set that had, Bruce's Fingers, Game of Death 2, Enter the Game of Death, like all of that stuff. I wish there was. Because that'd be a hoot to watch. Image of Bruce Lee, Way of the Dragon 2, Superhero, that's the one I remember. Bruce Lee, the Superhero, was one of the first Kung Fu movies I saw, and I thought that was Bruce Lee, only to find out it was it was one of the knockoff Bruce Lees. But I enjoy that for sentimental reasons. Challenge of the Tiger, a lot of those movies he was in. My Lucky Stars. So did he work with Jackie Chan then? I think Jackie Chan's in My Lucky Stars, but I don't know if they share screen together. That'd be great. Jackie Chan and Bolo Yeung face off against each other. That'd be cool. Legacy of Rage with Brandon Lee. But Bloodsport, he really got a second lease on life, because after that, Blood Fight, Breathing Fire, Double Impact, Tiger Claws, Iron Heart, mostly playing the villain, other than a few times he played the hero. Shoot Fighter, which I enjoy, and Shoot Fighter 2, to a lesser extent, I did enjoy. I think he was a good guy. He was a good guy in TC-2000, I believe, as well. I believe so. I know that stars Billy Blanks. And after Shoot Fighter 2, he didn't do much. Two films I've never heard of. I guess after 96, maybe he's like, you know what? I've done enough. But I mean, hey, great run. Over 100 credits. I mean, think about it, you're part of Enter the Dragon, you're part of Bloodsport, you're part of, that's martial arts history right there. I wonder if there's anyone who's ever reviewed, like, every Bolo Yeung film. The Flying Ninja 1, he'd be the one to tell me. If you ever come back to YouTube, maybe you could be the guy review all of Bolo Yeung's movies. Very good guy on here, Flying Ninja 1. Very good guy. But, yeah, that's looking at some of the cast and crew before and after a Bloodsport. And then a whole tangent about City of Lies with Forrest Whitaker. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And hope you guys have a nice day. Bye-bye.